want to survive,
Hello?
we,
Can you hear me?
especially early humans,
Yeah, we
we've
can.
created, especially with early humans, we've created like early humans didn't know basically anything about why they were alive or how they were alive. So what they did was that they probably created these texts to try and,
Are you
I don't
gonna
know,
try and say
feel
religion's a
better about
coping
their
mechanism
existence.
for the death?
Yes,
Okay, well,
yes, definitely,
okay, well, let's
because we're
talk
able to
about it.
think more complexly.
I'm actually gonna argue that atheism is more of a cope because it is the idea that there's no um, consequences for your actions after the death, and that it is the idea that you can do whatever you want.
No,
with
I
your life.
think, I
I think
think, I think you could
Killa,
say
what's
that,
it? Yo,
but
bring
I
up
think you
Killa,
could
bring
say
up
that
Killa, bring up Killa
oppositely.
real quick, bring up Killa real quick. That's my guy.
I think you could say that oppositely
okay.
because I mean,
No, you can't.
that would also
No,
mean that
because
people would do good things to get rewarded.
no.
Okay,
no,
wait.
that's
I
not
think
true.
we need to let each other speak.
Well,
Hold on.
Yeah, well, that's true, but I'm gonna try and talk real quick. Well, you said that religion's kind of a coping mechanism for the death, but that's not. It's kind of not really the start of what religion was really how it used to be. In fact, if we look at some of the oldest quote unquote religions, I'm not going to say that Greek mythology is the oldest religion, but documented, yes, it is. And we looked at it was actually more about how gods used to run the earth and walk around in Rome and strike us down, even if we did the littlest things against them, how they would sleep with our women and do evil things to us. Not that if we believed that we would have a nice afterlife. In fact, even since I'm a Christian and we're talking about Christianity here, not even really in the Christian religion, we have not even. Yo, what's up, yo? I don't think Paul too, but not even in the Christian religion is it's like, yeah, we have this comfort knowing that God, that we are saved, but we have to know that we're going to be heavily persecuted, tried, and hurt. Well, I would say in the atheistic world, you have this nihilistic view on earth, but then you have this fleeing idea that in the end, none of it matters. So it's kind of more freeing that you can do whatever you want without any consequences. I would also like to say.
Well, I'm a good person. Well, I'm a good person, even though I don't believe in God.
Define a good person.
Like,
how do you know you're good?
Well, societally, I'm a good person. Objectively, I'm not. Nobody is.
Someone might disagree that you're a bad person.
I said societally, I'm a good person.
Okay,
objectively, I'm not.
Society, and what can you say societally that you are a good person? There's culture.
Societally, if you kill somebody, you're a bad person. But if you don't, you're a good person.
Okay, define society. What?
That's what I just said. I said it's objectively, I'm not a good person.
Okay, but again, what do you mean by define society? What society are you talking about?
Australian society, because I live in Australia.
Okay.
The laws that we have in Australia.
Okay, so you mean under the Australian law that you are a good person?
Under the Australian law, if you kill somebody, you're going to get and you're going to be prosecuted. If you don't, you won't.
Because yes, under the subjective Australian law, you're a good person. But what does that have to do with
objectively, I'm not though.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying that how could you? What does that have to do with my point of that atheism is technically a coping mechanism with the idea that you can do whatever without any repercussions?
Because when it comes to religion, especially with the Christian, the Islamic religion, stuff like that, which believe in heaven and hell, you have this. It makes this idea that bad people are going to get prosecuted for eternity, and good people are going to be, put on a pedestal.
That's how I know you don't know a lot. That's how I know you don't know.
Technically, I could just say atheism is a coping
mechanism.
I could say that you.
No, go ahead, Paul.
Wasn't atheism the original thing? Like religion didn't always exist.
Yeah,
like early humans didn't believe in any type of religion.
No. It would just be monotheism in that fact.
But I would like to add really quickly about what you said. Is that no? That is not what the Christian perspective is. We believe that we're all evil and that we're only saved by grace. Not that, and none of us believe that we're good people. We all have this innate idea that we're all evil and sinners and we are saved by the grace of God. Not that we are good people. We are saved because we are good. I don't even think Catholics believe that, because even Christ says in the Bible, "Why do you call me good? Nobody is good but God alone." And saying that his personhood, that not because he does good things, he's good, but because he's God, he is good. Nobody else is good but God, because we all have sinned and done innate evil things. So I would say that you don't. That's how I know you don't really know anything about my religion, because you don't know that basic simple fact. That's why I say atheism is still a cope, because you can say that you can do whatever you want. Now, I'm not saying you will, because you have a conscience, but I'm saying you can do whatever you want, and you're going to have this idea, well, it doesn't matter in the end, because you're just going to go back to the dust. You're going to go back to the ground. You're going to die. You're going to decay. So that's why I was saying...
Where do you think you were before you were born?
What do you mean? think
we
You
cease to
do.
exist.
Can you conceptualize what you were before you were born?
I don't think I
No,
was.
you
I don't
just
think I
do.
was actually anything before I was
That's
born.
the
I think I was
that's the thing
created.
that's gonna happen after you die.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what's gonna happen after you
That doesn't
die.
matter. What
I
we're
don't
stating is
think that
that
we were. Yeah, I don't think that we were actually. I don't think we were actually in heaven. I think we were created before we did that. You know, I think we were actually created.
We were created when we fertilized.
Yeah, I believe that.
That's
God
when we were
created me, that
created.
I was fertilized. Yeah, you know, yeah. I
Yeah.
believe that.
So God created a little microscopic thing.
I mean, what's
In
your
that he
opinion?
created
Like,
it.
let's just talk
Yeah.
about
What
like
does
the
that have to? What does that have
universe.
to do
Like,
with anything? What does that have to do with?
Yeah.
What does that have to do?
Okay.
What are you trying to say?
I'm pretty sure my dad created that, but okay.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't think your dad created semen out of his testicles. I think that was just kind of a thing that.
No, his
already
body
existed.
did. He processes created it, so I guess.
Okay, you know what? You know what? You want to talk about your dad's semen? That's weird. Let's talk about the. Let's switch topics. Killer, you want to say anything? Because I've been kind of
we
taking
talk
the whole
about God's
spotlight.
existence.
Killer, you want to? Killer or Paul, you want to say anything? Want to give an objection? You guys
Just
go.
argue God's existence.
I mean, it's up to them to make the argument.
It's just
actually,
me,
so.
Killa, and you, Paul, that are Christians. I think everyone else here is.
Oh, wait, kill out.
I am too.
Okay, yeah, just two.
I just don't really know what to believe because I just don't exactly know what I am because I see a lot of videos like on Christianity and I'm like, oh well that could be true, but then I'm like I watch more videos about other like religions and I'm like, well that could be also true, and it's just I get so confused, so I do not know what to believe at this point.
Okay, well let's first go on the topic of let's find an objective reason that God exists. Kill, do you want to go ahead and give an argument? You want to take over the floor?
Wait, sorry, what's that?
I said you want to.
There was no objective reason God
God's
exists.
existence.
I didn't even hear.
And
I just.
you're good. I was saying you want to give like an argument for why God exists.
Just off of like the few, or do you guys want to like stem from one, or like what are we gonna do?
No, you can just start off with your own argument, and that would just kind of set the topic.
I mean, sure, if you guys would like to just, I know obviously me and Paul were on last night. I don't know where he's from. It could have been yesterday, tonight, or tomorrow. But like, we were talking about tag the other day. If you guys want to just jump straight into tag, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I think tag would be a good place to start, and then we can do fine tuning after.
Okay, so 1 second.
Okay, yeah, just take your time. I'll get your, because I'm gonna get my 2 papers in my book up real quick, just in case.
Wait,
go
who
for
are
it.
we debating?
We're debating this guy. We're debating this guy, CCEJH, and then Zoe's.
Oh yeah. Alright. Wait, yo, do you know tag CCJH?
What is that?
Do you know tag?
Do you know tag? The argument for like the transcendental argument for God.
Nah.
Okay, good.
I think so.
Okay.
Then maybe we shouldn't. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, okay.
No,
I
he'll
think it is-
understand
I think he'll get
it.
it. I think he'll understand it. If
You'll
he doesn't
get
understand
it.
it, then
You'll
we can
get
go
it.
something simpler like fine tuning or collab. You pick.
Or even like you just wrote like a simpler argument, like the very basic one, which was in some sense a lot more modified, so it would have to prove God. So like it would be in some sorts like the uncaused cause, but I would just state it would have to be something immaterial. So like God would be immaterial, so this thing would have to be the source of all creation. So there would be nothing that can, like that's like stating a concept created us. That would make absolutely no sense. It would have to be something immaterial. So that's like literally to an objective point that would literally have to be God, no other thing. Unless it just leads into infinite regress if you think back with material things.
Oh, sorry, there's a lot of background noise. I think I'm gonna go on mute.
Okay, you ready?
But yeah, honestly, I'm just kind of doing something on the monitor. I'm just kind of came in here to like interject when you guys are like talking about things. I really kind of like.
Okay,
Do the whole
actually,
shebang.
if you want me to go first, I can go first, Killa.
No, yeah, go for it.
Okay, sure. All right, I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna kind of like throw a stone at you, give you a very basic argument. Oh, no, this is my bad. Let me give you my paper. Okay, so let's start off with fine tuning. Recently, scientists have been able to research and find the cosmological constants and quantities, some, for example, such as the law of universal gravitation, the velocity of light, the mass of the electron, and the expansion rate of our universe. These things are so incredibly fine-tuned for life that even if they were altered by a hair, any chance for life in the universe would cease to be, or the universe itself would even fold in and collapse on itself. So the argument that I'm about to present goes as follows. Premise 1. Science has given us these three opportunities for the fine-tuning of the universe. It is either due to physical necessity, chance, or design. Premise 2. It is not due to physical necessity or chance. Premise 3. Therefore, it is due to design. To defend premise 2, we must go over how they are not the reasons for the fine-tuning of the universe, obviously. To say the universe is life-permitting due to physical necessity is to say that the universe must have been life-permitting for it to exist. Because the constants of the universe are not determined by the laws of nature, there is no reason or evidence to suggest it is necessary or a must for the universe to permit life. Did we just get really lucky with the idea of chance? Well, chance itself contradicts itself as it being the most probable or most likely because it is the idea of chance and gambling. And the chances are way too small, of course, to even be close to likely. And people have gone from trying to defend this with physics, science, facts, to using things like metaphysics, for example, the multiverse theory. However, there's no scientific evidence to help provide proof or evidence of the multiverse theory, not even proof for a second universe. And that's where the argument kind of ends. So
An infinite amount of time. The universe is completely infinite, and it's been around for an infinite amount of time. So I mean,
you believe that the
could very
universe was an
possibly
infinite amount of time and didn't have a start?
Well, I do believe that at some point it had a start. But I mean, like, I do believe that the universe has expanded and then fallen into itself an infinite amount of times before, and it will continue to do it an infinite amount of times. So I mean, like, if it's continuously doing that an infinite amount of time, there's a good chance that eventually, how's it not possible?
No, that's literally not possible. That's infinite regress. It can't lead into that. You're basically that, like, in another analogy, the Big Bang keeps happening over and over again. There was no original starting point, and there is no end. It just keeps going. So that's like a turtle, a whole tower of turtles stacked on top
of each other. It could be infinite, like Kilgallen.
No, that doesn't work like that. So you could just state that the universe has been in existence forever. I'm not stating that the universe collapsed within itself. It was just always there. So you could say that, or you're just leading to infinite regress, which is just like the idea of infinite regress is just somewhat. It just can't work. Like, that's why science completely disagrees with it as well. It just can't work.
One of the scientific ways that the universe will end is by collapsing into itself. That's a theory. There's a theory that the universe will end by collapsing into itself.
And why?
And in an infinite amount of time,
but exactly,
it could.
Okay, but let's see. But exactly why do they believe in infinite regress? What do they say about it collapsing into itself? How does it do that?
It falls back into itself eventually.
Like, it doesn't trip. Like, how does it? What do you mean by it stops it stops expanding at the infinite rate, and then it starts squeezing in? What do you mean by it falls back in on itself? It can't trip.
Oh, I mean, like, what's the opposite of expanding again?
Because remember, the universe constantly is expanding at a rate faster than the speed of light. So if it's constantly
from something,
the cosmological constant and that cosmological constant is at that mathematical number that we found is at that speed, and it's faster than the speed of light. If it's constantly expanding, then there has never been really any kind of evidence to suggest that it's going to stop at one point. If that is, it's literally in the definition, the cosmological constant, a constant that's going to keep going.
Just because you do realize that we're talking about theories here. Even you are.
This is math and science, as scientifically shown, that there's an expansion of the universe that is constantly this.
I know, but that doesn't mean anything.
It does.
We don't know how the universe started or how it ended.
How it ended presumes that it had ended before. So let me ask you that one more time. You did agree that the universe is constantly expanding. So again, how does it collapse from itself? I don't know if you already said it, but I couldn't hear your mic's kind of muffling. What did you say?
Eventually, there's a possibility that it might, for some reason, collapse in itself, and then go back to where before the Big Bang.
So again, whenever you say collapse, do you mean collapse as in it stops expanding and then starts recessing, like going climbing in on
Basically,
itself, and then exploding again?
because isn't the universe constantly expanding from something?
What do you mean? Yeah, okay, but
It's expanding from a certain point, isn't it?
it's not expanding from a certain point. Actually, we can check that. We can fact check that real quick. But there's nothing that I've heard that.
Because what would it be expanding from?
Well, do you think it's expanding from a black hole? That's the theory. That's in like.
No, I'm thinking that it's expanding from something, a center.
Let's see. How's the universe expanding? The universe is expanding in a way that the space between gravitationally unbound objects, such as distant galaxies, is increasing over time. This expansion is not an explosion into pre-existing space, but rather an intrinsic property of space itself, meaning that space is growing everywhere, including between atoms, so the effect is negligible at small scales. This expansion is uniform and proportional to distance, a relationship described by Hubble's law, where galaxies farther away from us recede faster. This phenomenon is observed through the redshift of light from distant galaxies, where the wavelength of light stretches as space expands, including motion from the observer. Expansion is not due to the galaxies moving through space, but rather the space itself is stretching, carrying galaxies along with it. I'm gonna end it there because it starts talking about an analogy. And actually, I'll start here. Expansion began with the Big Bang and amount when the scale factor of the universe was 0 and evolved over time. Initially, expansion slowed due to the gravitational pull of matter and energy around 9.8 billion years after the Big Bang and began to accelerate. The acceleration is a dark energy, a mysterious form of energy that predates science and drives an expansion at an increasing rate. So it's not some center thing, but just because of the existence of space and the Hubble's law that it naturally expands.
What's expanding from though?
It's, as it says, it started at the Big Bang and then slowly started to expand. It's not expanding from something.
So it's expanding from a certain point.
It doesn't say that. It says that it started to expand at the Big
The
Bang.
isn't the Big Bang a certain point? Isn't like the original isn't before the Big Bang a certain point?
Before the Big Bang is not time and space. It's God, and God creates the world. The universe using fine-tuning.
There's no factuals about that. There's no factual evidence of that.
Of course, there's no factual evidence. That's what I'm saying. That's the most likely idea.
So it's theory.
Of course, that's why I'm
So
saying
we both
there
have
is no.
theories.
Hold on, that the most probable idea is the fine-tuning and the creation of the universe has to be a designer because of the fine-tuning.
It's not as probable. I don't think it is.
It is as probable. That's why I said. If we're gonna look at the fine-tuning of how the universe is made, look at these other two options, and these are what these other two options present, and these are why it's not this. Therefore, it's due to design. So now you have to try and break down this argument, why it's not, why it could be physical necessity and chance.
Because there's an infinite amount of time and it could just happen.
As we
After
just
an
said,
infinite amount of time.
there's nothing that shows at all.
There's
No
also-
evidence. There's no evidence at all to show that the universe will stop expanding at any time, any way, to then start recessing on itself.
There's also no evidence like that there's
That's
any
a two-foot way
God.
fallacy. We're not talking about that. We're saying that you're talking about there's no evidence, and then I give you the most likely option, and then you give me something else, and then you say, okay, well, there's no evidence.
The most likely option is
That's not the most likely option because
you know,
it's not the most likely
then
option.
how's another most likely option?
It can't be the most likely option because there is no factual evidence or any type of reasoning to support what you were just saying.
There's also no reasoning to
Again,
support what you're
that's a two-foot way
saying.
fallacy. You're not actually objecting to my argument. You're just using an argument from hypocrisy. And even still, yes, I gave you a reason why it must be a designer by outruling the other two, which seems the most probable option to be a designer god.
How is it most probable though?
Because as I just read from the book or not from the book, but from the paper that I wrote, that physical necessity and chance are outruled. Those are the three sides of the
Oh, the paper that you read.
What?
Is it from like actual information?
I can't hear your mic muffled. What?
Is it from like actual information?
Actual
Like
information?
what you read?
No, I wrote this based off of research. It took me 2 months to research.
Okay, so you researched this for 2 months,
Yeah, I researched this for 2 months just to make sure.
and you think, and you came to the conclusion that there's some sort of entity in the sky that created the entire universe, instead of it just being like an infinite amount of chance, an infinite like
Yeah, because
span of
yeah,
time.
because there's no evidence to support that. And you're spouting the idea of that.
There's no
Yes, and
there's
then,
also
and
no
then, again, then
evidence
you're
to support a
spouting,
book
yes, and then
history.
you're spouting the idea that has nothing to do with my argument. I'm not talking about the book. I'm talking about the most natural and what's it called? I'm forgetting the word. I'm blanking. The most natural and most natural, most likely option. you're giving me a theory that, and you talk about how you believe in science and that you trust science, that you trust the most factual option. Well, this has no evidence or fact or this has no reasoning to actually support this. The reason why the designer, you have to now break down the reason why there's not a designer. I broke down why there has to be a designer by giving you the reason why.
Because God is like too humanized. Like,
No, because
why are we
out?
acting like he's like a human? Why are we acting like he's any type of like? Why
God
are
was
we acting
human.
like he's like some sort of like creator?
He is his own sort of creator. Why are you saying that he's not? I didn't say
How do he create himself though?
he didn't create himself. He's an infinite being before time and space.
You said the same thing about the universe.
You can't because of what we just talked
How?
about. Because you just affirmed the idea that
The universe could just be. The universe could just create itself.
Okay, but you know, how do you know that? And you
The universe could.
How?
The universe
How do you
could
know
have just
that?
been some sort of
Okay, but
separate God.
okay,
How do you know?
again, you're too quick
How do you know
quoting.
it is now?
Okay, again, you're too quick quoting me. A, and then B, you affirm the idea that the universe did have a starting point before it started quote unquote infinitely regressing. You affirm that there was a starting point, so don't start backtracking on yourself and going to something else. You affirm that as a starting point, and at that starting point, there has to be something before that to create the uncaused cause. And what
Yeah, the
that
universe
uncaused
created
cause?
itself.
A designer for the fine tuning.
Because the universe created itself, and the
How do
universe
you
is
know
God.
that? But how do you know that? That's
How
what
do you
I'm
know?
asking.
How do you know what you're saying?
Again, another
Right,
two
I'm like-
quick.
I'm like
Kill
literally-
yours, guys.
I'm
Like the
literally
fourth
trying
two
to,
quick in a
like-
row, right? Like,
I'm literally
I don't
trying to
know,
listen, but I can't even hear his microphone. It's just so mumbly and mumbly.
I don't know what I'm saying is true, but you don't either.
that's another
Your mic
two
isn't
quick
very
way.
good, TC.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you that what
Okay,
I'm
I don't
saying.
know. Do you know?
My answer comes from outruling the two other most likely options, and because of outruling those two most likely options, this leaves the third as the only
Okay, fine.
option.
There is a designer. I agree with you, and you know what the designer is, the universe.
But how do you know that? Can you disprove
Yes.
that? How can you
How
disprove
do
that?
Yes,
you know?
you see,
How do you know
so
what you're
you would-
saying?
So you'd have to justify that the universe is the designer. You'd have to like justify that. Can you do that?
Well, you could just use the same logic that you're using to justify something else being it, couldn't you?
No, because the definition of God actually justifies that in itself. You would have to justify that off of your part under your atheism.
What if the universe is God though?
What if the universe is God?
What if it's like?
Well,
what if
like-
God itself is
so
the
the Big
universe?
Bang-
Like, what
the
if the
Big Bang
universe
itself-
is?
The Big Bang
Yeah.
itself disproves that the universe is being God.
How?
Because it's just a natural in God's definition. God's definition is eternal. That's just like one of the main ones out of many. And we obviously know the universe
Hi.
is eternal, so it doesn't fit that description.
Hello? Hello?
The universe could be God, you know. Doesn't just be my
See-
point.
I'm trying to listen to
Alright,
CE,
so
it's just so
I
hard to
obviously see the title of this, so we're
Blah,
gonna talk
blah,
about
blah,
God
blah.
here, Christianity, religion. I'm assuming.
Yeah,
No, we're talking about pizza.
you're so funny.
I didn't make this.
Okay,
the person
that
who
is
made
not-
this
yeah, but we can talk about God. I don't know what's up. I'm gonna hear you. real quick.
Okay, so me personally, I am
You'll kill a chicken
of a
real quick?
mix between Christianity and Catholic because I
It's the same
am
thing.
German and I am
Catholicism and Christianity are the same thing.
I'm
Catholicism,
German.
Church and Christianity.
okay, but can you prove God's real?
Yeah, we're doing that right now with the fine tuning argument. If you want me to give that to you.
Okay, so can you prove he's real then?
Yeah. Yeah. Here, let me read this for you. I'm gonna actually. This time I'm gonna read you two. So, recently, scientists have been able. This is my paper. Recently, scientists have been able to research and find the cosmological constants and quantities. Some, for example, such as the law of universal gravitation, the velocity of light, mass of the electron, and the expansion rate of our universe. These things are so incredibly fine-tuned for life that even if they were altered by a hair, any chance for life in the universe would cease to be. The argument goes as follows. Premise 1. The fine-tuning of the universe is due to physical necessity, chance, or design. Premise 2. It is not due to the first two. Premise 3. Therefore, it is due to design. To defend Premise 2, let's go over how they're not the reason for the fine-tuning of the universe. To say the universe is life-permitting due to physical necessity is to say that the universe must have been life-permitting for it to exist. But because the constants of the universe are not determined by the laws of nature, there is no evidence or reason to suggest it is necessary or a must for the universe to permit life. Then we get really lucky with chance. Well, of course, the chances are way too small to even be likely, and that literally self-refutes itself to be the most likely idea. And people have gone from using science and physics to defend this to using metaphysics, like the multiverse theory. However, again, there is no scientific evidence to help provide proof or evidence of the multiverse theory, not even of the proof of a second universe. So if it's not physical necessity or chance, the last one that is ruled is design. Now, what more I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you a summary of something I can call the Kalam cosmological argument. Now, this is about to be really sloppy because I never finished it, but let me try to say this real quick. What's up?
Question.
What's up?
The whole thing that you were just reading, it did not permit anything about God
It
or
does.
if God was real.
It does.
It was just
No, no, no.
It was
No, it
permitting
does.
if the universe can sustain life and basically about the universe.
Well, yes.
Nothing
yes,
about
so
God in there, nothing about
Yes, it
beliefs in
is.
God.
Yes, it is. As I said,
Okay.
it's either physical necessity, chance, or design. Design imply what we mean by design is a designer created the universe, and that designer would be God. That's what I'm referencing to. That's why I'm saying it's not physical necessity or chance, so it must be due to design. That is the reason why the universe is a life-permitting universe, and that is why we have life on this universe.
Okay, so then could you mind explaining to me why we even pray if our prayers don't get answered, like
They do get
Thomas?
answered. Okay. Well. First off, that has nothing to do with what we were just talking about, but sure, I'll answer that for you. So our prayers do get answered. It's just put into his prayers already taken into account of in his divine plan. He knows what we need. He knows what we don't need. He knows what we're going to say. He knows what we're not going to say. He knows what we're going to do. He knows what we're not going to do. Does not mean that he inherently causes it, but it's his divine foreknowledge. That's why our prayers do answer. And I can even give my own personal experience of my prayers being answered. I've seen it happen multiple times. Even in my own little ministry that I do, I had a man who was an atheist who felt like his prayers hadn't been answered in 5 years. I talked to him. We talked about it, and then he texted me the next day after he prayed really hard, and he finally was able to reunite with someone that he loved very much after not being able to see them and having no contact with them for a month straight, and nobody was able to reach out, and they were perfectly okay, and everything was fine. No one can convince me otherwise that was just complete luck. So yes, prayers have been answered.
It was technically luck.
That is okay, but so okay, so I'm
Well, there is no way that there can be a invisible person that is out there that they say
God.
that God is
Yes,
a
so
they
what's your
them, but we
justification
call
for
him
your
a
Killer,
he.
please check Discord,
Yeah,
please,
so-
bro. Please.
But there's no way. There's no way though.
So what's your justification for your claim? Because you're low-key yapping a lot, but I don't think you can actually prove what
no,
you're saying.
you gotta back up your claim there, man.
Like, are you gonna back it up, or are you just gonna continue yapping?
Hey, Maya. Real quickly, Maya, the reason why I left your last one, Maya, real quick, the reason why I left your last one last time is because those people just kept cutting me off and they kept throwing fallacies, so I was not about to waste my time with people that kept cutting me off, just talking louder and not letting me be able to get my points. That's why I left your last one.
Alright.
Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah, brother, like, half the
Okay.
people in this game are low-key just stupid. Like,
So again, you can't. So once again, I answered you, and then you didn't actually give me any evidence to back up your claim that there can be an invisible God, because I don't know. You didn't even give a reason as to why there wouldn't be, and then I gave you a reason why the universe was created by God. You didn't answer that. So can you answer any of them, or are you just gonna concede the argument?
Because I had to do something real quick and I had to mute myself real quick.
Okay, so can you refute why God is not the fine-tuning of the universe?
Because I mean, think about it in this way. We
Oh,
say that God is there, like God is a real thing.
Uh-huh.
But honestly, if he was a real thing, then why can we see him? Why can't we feel
How
him?
does
Why
that?
can't
How
we-
does that?
Okay,
object
Anna,
to him
Anna,
creating
hey,
all of
hey,
this?
let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this.
that's not.
Yo,
hold on.
let me tell you this.
Can
Oh
you
my
Josh real
God,
quick?
bro.
I'm having a one-on-one
What the
discussion
hell,
with this girl.
yo, just all the way at the same time. Calm down.
Yeah, hold on really quickly. I just want to say real quick, because I'm the one talking to you and Anna. How the hell does that have to answer my question of God, you refuting God in the universe? You just said, how come we can't feel him? I can answer that for you, but what does it have to do with me talking about the universe?
I know, but it's kind of unrealistic that we can't even.
I can answer that for you, but you have to. Are you gonna at least concede my argument?
I'm trying to concede your argument, but your argument is not making any sense here.
Okay, you know, here, let me read it for the third time for the new people because this person I gave.
I don't want you to read it again because that
you
it
just
was
don't
not
understand
even
the fine-tuning
stating
of the universe.
how God is
wait,
there
wait.
and
I have
how
a
He
better
created
argument. I have a
the
better
It does.
argument. I
It
have a better
does
argument.
because
Yo,
again.
Burner.
Gosh.
I have a better argument. I have a better.
Yeah, go ahead
I'll make
because
it
she
really
doesn't
simple.
understand fine tuning. Just get it.
Yeah. Since you don't have a frontal lobe, it's okay. I'll help you understand basic English. So like, do you think it's possible a maximally great being exists?
What? Raping? Did you just say raping?
Yeah,
What?
she.
Oh
she-
yeah,
she-
yep,
she-
yep, you're bad.
Please,
You have
you're
no
about to get
brain,
me
like,
sent.
I'm
Zoe,
not
can
even,
you get her
like-
gone? She's just rage baiting. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Yeah,
Like, she does not even have a
I
brain at
answered
this
you
point,
4
bro.
times. You didn't respond once. After answering you 4 times, you didn't concede. And then I read you my paper twice. And yeah, please. Okay, guys. For anyone new here, I read this paper that I had twice. She didn't answer the objection twice. She yelled at me. How can we not answer God's? How can God doesn't answer her prayers? I answered that for her. Then I asked her to respond again. She didn't respond, and then she said that again. She didn't respond to
Alright,
any of my
well.
claims. That's why I'm acting like this. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah,
I think that you need something more simpler because these people cannot understand what you're saying.
I've been wanting
Hold
to
on,
say
can I ask
something.
a question really
Hold on.
Hold on, everyone, shut
I
up.
would
Let Zoe
recommend the
talk.
argument,
Shut up. Let Zoe
the
talk.
argument of motion.
Josh, real quick. Let Zoe talk.
I wanted to say something the whole time, but I didn't want to interrupt anybody because
Thank
I
you, Zoe.
kind
So
of
go ahead
felt bad.
and continue.
I was well, no, I wanted to like tell her to like y'all talk and to like, because you could kind of tell she had to be rage baiting because she was,
Her voice, bro.
'cause- yeah, like you could just tell, but
Yeah, by the way, you're host, so you can mute people. Like you can serve and mute them until the people finish talking.
again,
Yeah, you can if you right click on somebody or left click. Yeah.
I'm gonna try it.
Yeah. And by the way,
Did it work?
yeah. No, I don't.
Wait,
know.
what is the argument right now that you guys are talking about?
We don't have an argument because person left, so we're about to start up again. Kill, I'm gonna let you have the floor here. You can do whatever you want because I've had the floor the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I
I
got you.
haven't. I didn't
Hey,
really, because I didn't really.
Honestly, with Zoe, go
Okay,
ahead.
so basically,
I
what
didn't
you're-
really want
Oh.
to be on this, like, I didn't really want to have, like, because when I had first joined, it was a different title, but then the person who took over made the, like, title this, and then I've been stuck with it the whole time, and I didn't want to
If you
change
give
it,
me
like,
mod, I can probably change it for you. I think. You can open it up.
because I didn't want to change it while y'all were, like,
Okay, I can.
debating or whatever.
Well, I would like to debate, so we're gonna keep this.
Yeah, and if,
Hey,
if you
Brenner.
also give Kill a
Hey,
mod, that
Josh.
also helps too.
Yeah.
By the way.
Okay.
All right,
Okay,
so you
hold
know
on.
right here.
Yeah, really.
Oh my!
Really quickly. I know. I'm sorry, Josh. I'll let you talk right now. I'm sorry. Okay, and I'm gonna unmute you right now, Josh. Is anyone here an atheist? Riv. Okay. Here. Riv, do you want to come up?
Shalom, shalom,
Here we go,
people.
Riv, okay. Shalom. Sukana. Okay. Riv speaks in chat. Okay, Riv, go ahead and give us your points. I'm gonna unmute Josh. Okay, Riv, go ahead and give us your points.
Oh, Josh is goaded, bro.
Okay, Riv, why does a God not exist?
GG, he conceded.
No, brother.
What? Because it's highly unlikely.
Yeah, but you would have to justify that. That doesn't prove your point.
If maximally great being is possible in
I'm not gonna
any
debate with
world,
somebody who's talking in chat, honestly.
Yeah, you're killing. I'm just gonna watch this. I'm just gonna watch this one. I don't like debating.
I'm honestly, hey Burner, I just want to say something with the last person really quick. You should have probably went to the cosmological argument because you didn't even understand. Like he started like laughing when you said that God
Yeah,
was
bro,
before
I
the Big
can tell
Bang,
he was about
even
to
though
be,
that's
that British chick. I can tell he was about to be Cornwall. And that girl, I literally texted us in that group chat.
Mhm.
I said she's about to be
Mhm.
insufferable, and then as she started talking, I knew it. The second before she did, I knew it. Okay, okay,
Yeah, I
so
don't think those
Riv.
people can understand basic philosophy either. I would recommend the argument of motion there
Yeah, I literally.
because you know it's more comprehensible to them.
Yeah,
So,
I literally did the
Yeah.
fine tuning argument yesterday,
Yo.
and then the person was like, "So how can you not?" I gave her the whole thing, and then
Josh,
and then.
why are you saying
Yes.
them like it's a whole different like group of people, bro?
What
It's
is it?
much more
There is a
No, I'm
complicated.
just saying like there is a difference in between
Nah,
somebody who
bro.
comprehends philosophy in a good manner and somebody who does not comprehend philosophy in a good manner.
That's true.
Bro,
So like you can take
segregated,
Axiom,
no way.
he's very high tier, and you can take
Wait.
Anna.
Wait,
She's
Josh.
low tier.
Just
Who's
really
Anna?
quick, Josh. Are you a theist? Just want to clarify
Yes.
that. Okay, gotcha. Cool.
Who's Anna? Anna.
Anna.
What-
Oh, it's the
Anna
girl with the obnoxious
Anna-
voice that just left. Banned.
Anna was
Oh.
the low. Anna was the low tier, kind of just blurting insanity. So I was just kind of.
I'm a low tier, guys. So yeah, type shit.
But you can comprehend it. So
Yeah,
you're
at least you
good.
can comprehend something. It's fine.
Sakuna.
Gotta wait for some people.
Okay, thank you guys for at least being respectful. How do you feel about the argument from possibility and necessity? St. Thomas Aquinas.
I like St. Thomas arguments. I don't really use them a lot. I stick to my.
It's 5 ways.
Yeah, I stick to my main 3. I stick to fine tuning, moral, and kalam. Sometimes sometimes
Have you ever debated Axie?
Nah, never really have. I've always kept them.
Hey, Burner, you don't like Aquinas?
No, I said I like Aquinas and his arguments. I just don't really use them.
Oh, okay, cool.
Cause,
Do you
I
feel
never
like they're
really
too
need
mainstream?
to use them. Because once I concede to God, then I start going to Jesus. Once I start going to Jesus, then I concede Jesus, but then it's over. There's nothing to do. Why waste my time?
Either way, now there's more like even all of like the biggest philosophers and like theologians back then. They're just more advanced arguments on top of what they've already like created. So there's like just more advanced versions of different arguments for God's existence.
Very intelligent people.
Yeah, my favorite ones I like the William Lane Craig ones. I love using William Lane Craig. He's a great dude. He's such a good debater for against I love it.
Yeah, he's good. I've seen him.
Let me see this.
Is there anybody in the thing? Honestly,
Oh my God, look at this.
You, any atheists?
Bro, 4K just be
Are
on.
we winning? Are we winning?
I think Zoe's agnostic. Zoe's agnostic.
Surprising.
Is there a way that I
No
could
way on
like transfer ownership to somebody
Oh, wait,
else?
what the heck? I thought it was a 60.
Oh yeah,
Just
you
leave the
would
game and
basically.
it'll go to
So,
like one of your mods.
It is a 66
yeah,
overtime,
so
bro.
if you leave the game, it'll go to me or
Is Eric
Burner.
still on the
It'll most likely be
Green
Burner
egg.
though, by the way.
That's why.
Read
I got
the
jammed.
how, bro. Please.
I got jammed.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, never mind.
Alright, hey bro, y'all got this. I trust you. Hey Martins, I'm sorry,
I've been
bro.
seeing,
I
like,
owe you, bro.
so many
I've been
created
too busy
arguments.
debating this person. I owe
Like,
you, bro.
He's gonna jam you. He's
I
gonna
think it
jam you.
was
He's gonna jam you.
the axiom of eternal existence. I ran it with Sakuna earlier.
Jeez, Eric, so that's
Tried getting his insight on it.
Who made that one?
No, I don't know. I just found it like on the dark web of the corner.
the dark web of the corner.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, I went to like page 99 of Google. Do you want me to like tell you the premises?
Yeah, go for it.
But we have premise 1, existence exists. Yeah, then we have premise 2, nothing cannot produce something. And then we have premise 3, therefore existence is uncaused. And we have 4, something must exist by necessity. And then we have 5, the necessary existent cannot be material. And then we have 6, therefore it is immaterial and simple. And we have 7, a simple necessary existent is pure actuality.
Yo, really quickly.
We have
really
8,
quickly.
pure actuality grounds all being.
Yeah, really quickly. There's another one that opened up, an atheist one that says God debates Christian. God is not real. You guys want to go to that one? Yo, Josh, add me. Instead of waiting here. Yo, Josh, add me, and so can I use you? And here's how I got you.
All right.
Okay, yeah, hey, join me.
No LARPing, right?
No LARPing.
Yeah, I mean, he practically advocates it in what is it, Leviticus chapter 25.
Yeah, let Burner up. Let
I'm
Burner
talking
up.
to you.
Okay, so that's in the Old Testament, first of all. So,
That's not it doesn't matter whether it's.
yes, it is. Okay, so Exodus
why? Why does it
21:26. It's relegations for Hebrew slave. Burner. Oh, he's
Is
an
that the
ex
one in Exodus,
Christian. He's ex. He said he converted to agnostic a week ago. Anyways, okay, let him up. But so a Hebrew can serve up to 6 years, then be set free. But so like these verses describe slavery in ancient society, but God rules included protection and limits, which were much more humane than most ancient cultures.
Okay, yeah, wait. He still condones slavery. What's your point? So it's more humane. It just doesn't matter anymore. What's your point?
Dude, he's not condoning it. He doesn't. He doesn't
literally-
support it.
He literally
He's
explains how to care for a slave.
God.
Why would you do that? That's like
on.
me telling you not to kill somebody and then telling you how to hide a body. That makes no sense.
is this the reason why you left Christianity?
Oh no, he also it's one of many for sure.
Well,
I mean, there's genocide.
Oh
yeah,
my
slavery is
god.
not the same as today.
Oh my god.
It doesn't
These
matter.
are- Come on. Let me up. Let me up.
Back then it
No.
was different. It doesn't matter. Slavery, he
It's
condoned
no,
slavery.
it's different meanings.
Would you-
Sometimes?
Come on.
Yeah, let Burner up,
Come
bro.
Okay,
on.
no, what's the context? I'm talking to you.
Let me
What's the
out.
context?
Why?
Okay,
Look,
Let me out.
okay, look. They made slavery bad in like 1940, like 50. Okay.
okay. So you're talking about how it was bad back then, right? And then, or no, it was good back then, but now it's bad now, right? Would you believe that everything that God does is just, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
righteous.
So do you believe in absolute morality? If everything
Yo,
God does
what?
is just, do you believe in absolute morality? Objective morality. Do you know what that means?
Yo, look.
you
You're
slow?
saying he condones slavery, but
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
Old
then you-
Testament
yeah,
it said slavery existed. It was rules for humane treatment. In a historical context, it just regulated
Yeah, no, but then you brought up the
existing
point how we
practice.
made slavery bad nowadays, right? So now it's bad, right? It was made bad on what?
Yo, let's get it on,
1950s, you
bro.
said?
Yo, let other people up, bro.
I'm talking to you. You're not even addressing my point. You brought up how it's bad, it's okay, or
Your
they made it bad in
username is
1950s,
Jesus
right?
is King, and you're
Yo, stop
going
moving the
against him.
goalposts, bro. Stay on topic. What are you? Why are you off topic?
Yeah, let Burner up, bro.
Yeah, bro. Do you concede? Are you slow?
Just let Burner up.
Bro, we're having a conversation, no?
No, bro, you're.
Do you believe in objective morality?
I don't even know what I did.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Was that a yeah or no? No.
Let me up. Let me up.
kind of.
Okay, so answer the
Look,
question. Do you believe in
look.
objective morality?
In. Bro,
Do you believe in objective morality?
I don't know, bro.
Okay, so objective morality means that. So you know what objective means, right? Objective means like it's truth. It's 100% factual. That there cannot be no wrong. Basically, it's fully truthful.
Oh
And you know what morality
no.
is?
No.
Yo, oh
You brought up the
my-
point in. Are you slow? You brought up a point in 1950 how they made it bad nowadays, but it was okay back then, right? And I
I'm
asked
saying
you,
it-
do you believe
look,
God?
look, look.
Everything that God
It's a
does
different
is just.
meaning because
Yeah,
a lot
I'm
of
gonna
people
address-
are aware of what
the
slavery
meaning
was.
is irrelevant because God commanded
like maybe
it, and
like
God was
100
okay
years
with
ago.
it. It doesn't matter. God was okay with
No,
it.
it was.
If you believe
it
in
was,
objective morality, that means his
No,
morality
it meant
changed over time.
No, it meant like regulated like existing practice.
God is harm. It doesn't matter about the historical context. It's God. Do you
Okay.
believe that God is omnipotent and
I'm
omniscient?
literally watching a
He's all
slaughter.
Yeah.
all powerful. Okay, so why is the time relevant? If he's all
What do
knowing.
you, dog?
Can you? You're gonna like answer?
In the Old Testament, slavery was common. Okay, common in Israel and surrounding nations. Hebrew
Okay.
slaves limited to 6 years with protections in Exodus 21:2-6. All right.
Okay, sure. Okay. I can see it on the fact that slavery was okay in the historical context. Okay, what about genocide? Do you believe genocide's okay? Do you believe genocide is good?
Come on, man.
You lagging? Doing okay? You believe that genocide is good?
Same story every time, they heckling repetition. On top of the mountain, these niggas still down at base camp, they planning their expedition. Y'all the type to catch a charge, headed to deposition.
Bully, the tier 3's angry. Yeah, the high tier.
Come on, bro.
Don't Mike suspended. He didn't say anything wrong. I don't know where you get that from. He perfectly has
You talk about Old Testament.
We talked about Old Testament and how
So I don't know why he was talking about time. Time is irrelevant. Like multiple times, giving up the Old Testament. That's a terrible point.
Okay, anybody else want to come up?
Anyone in the chat?
I'm not rage baiting.
Anyways.
You guys are high tiers, bro.
Let me tell you about my brother though. Yeah, I mean enough about me. Let me tell you about my brother though. Cause I'll backhand you boys with my right hand. You niggas do
Okay, yeah.
Finally! Allah is almighty.
Sorry. Jeez, you know, I've been waiting here, watching this dude Maya get slaughtered for 6 minutes. It's not fun
that
watching.
was terrible.
It's not fun watching. So, real quick, can you let him kill us and Killer can watch? Because me and him kind of like take turns. I'll answer your slavery question. You
You
can
guys
answer your
gonna take
genocide
turns
question.
on us? Okay, sure, yeah.
Okay, cool.
How we doing, guys? How we doing, guys?
Actually,
I'm in the
Killer,
middle
do
of
you want to
these.
answer genocide or do you want to answer slavery? You can pick. I really don't care. Tell me.
Is he talking about the Amalekites or like what is?
No,
what
he's
verse
talking
is he
about
on?
Malachi, talking about Samuel, he's talking about the Exodus slavery, which I think he should know that in the Hebrew and with the Jewish encyclopedia that did not mean slavery, it meant servitude. And what he meant by servitude is that people that were in debt to these people would end up working. And he should know, if you read Exodus and Leviticus, that eye for eye, tooth for tooth. So whatever damage you do to a slave or to, like, for example, a slave or a pregnant woman, as said in Exodus and Leviticus, because I read both books, any damage you do to them, same will be done to you. If you kill them, you will be killed. If you take out their eye, your eye will be gouged out. Damage for damage, tooth for tooth. It's actually called servitude. My source is the Jewish encyclopedia.
Okay, so what? So they're forced into slavery for like paying a debt. Essentially, they're paying their debt.
Well, yes. For some, yes. For some, they're in debt.
Okay.
For some, they're in debt. And then for example, the Jewish encyclopedia, it actually didn't say slavery, it says servitude. That's my source. Now, Killy, you want to answer
so it's just
genocide?
justified.
I'm gonna go get a drink.
Okay.
Yeah, historical context is really important, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can go get a genocide. I'm gonna go get a drink real quick.
I'm eating. Wait, what's that? Do you guys want to answer like the Amalekites? Is that what your objection
Yeah,
is?
that's probably going to be like the main focus of the genocide.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I got you. So do you, obviously, like you said, do you understand the historical context of the Amalekites?
I'm pretty. I don't know like exactly what they did, but from what I've heard, like they were pretty bad people. At least like the males
Yeah.
were.
Yeah. So can you tell me how long Jesus kind of like gave them to like turn around, basically? To just
Yeah,
stop their
I'm
evil?
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's like 300 years, 400.
Close. 400. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah.
It's about 400 years. I mean, obviously, you can know, yo. So if God is the gift giver of life, right? Does he have the obligation to keep giving that gift, or can he stop giving that gift whenever he so pleases?
I guess you could say whenever he wants, but like. Yeah. Okay.
Also, just to add on to your argument, I would like to say you can't actually really attack you can't really attack Christianity based on morality, because that's not what your worldview has to offer.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm eating. It's kind of rough.
Okay, so just it was okay for God to like wipe out the Amalekites because like he gave them that time, right? It was okay for like commanding that because he gave them like the 400 years to, believe in him.
What are we talking about?
Believe in him.
Amalekites?
Yeah, we were talking about Amalekites. I'm trying to eat while we're talking about.
You gotta kill us. This is like an F tier. You got it.
I'm like F tier. I know that's what I'm trying to eat.
Yeah, you got
Well, Aeneas, go ahead.
I'm just saying my review.
What do you want to go ahead?
Me? Oh no, I'm good. I'm just saying this is the
No,
F tier argument. You got
no, not you. Him.
Okay, yeah, you got it.
Wait, what?
I don't need another, but I'll take it.
Yeah. So do you want to keep going?
About it. Oh no, I was just asking you like, so it was okay, like it was justified for God to do it, like command the genocide because he gave the Amalekites like that amount of time to like believe in him.
Yeah, and he also gave him the gift of life, right? So like I said, is he obligated to keep giving that gift, or can he take it away whenever he so pleases?
I guess whenever. Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be justified in that sense. I mean, we can get more deep into it, so, but that's fine.
Have you ever argued about like animal suffering specifically? Like, do you believe in that?
Yeah, I've heard the argument of animal suffering. Yeah.
Do you like? Would you agree or like disagree? Obviously, about like the whole like why God it just like allows for like.
I think the entire argument in itself is kind of stupid. But yeah, that's fine. Do you want me to give you like what I think about it?
I guess. I mean, I couldn't like really argue. Like, I couldn't remember what.
So basically, like the how the argument kind of goes. Yep, I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. Obviously, humans are the only ones that sinned. So if God actually cares about His creation and we are the only people who actually sinned against God, why do animals suffer? Because they understand why humans suffer, but not why animals suffer, right?
O'Connor argument.
Yeah, exactly. And I was kind of like he got refuted by like he honestly doesn't really have many good arguments. If you want me to be honest. He gave the sloppy analogy with the Amalekites to Stuart and Clifton. It was kind of silly. But I would say obviously so I'll just give you like a little analogy, right? So sin. So like let's say your dad is a gambler, and gambling is a sin under the Christian worldview, and you guys grow poor. So that byproduct of sin affected not just him, but all of you as well.
Yeah.
So in the same way that humans have sinned. Oh shoot! I dropped something on the floor. In the same way humans have sinned, it's basically like the byproduct of a cursed world, of cursed everything.
Okay, so like your argument's like just because like human sinning is like the byproduct of why animals suffer. Okay.
I have a question. Just really quick. I know we're gonna keep talking. I just like it. I would like to ask you, what's up with the rage bait? Are you like are you just rage baiting with your username, or what's that about?
No. Okay, no. I like kind of like really recently converted. Like I gotta wait 7 days. I'm pretty sure I literally just changed it like an hour ago. I just haven't.
Wait, so like, are you asking these from a theistic? I thought you were an atheist.
No, he's an
I'm
agnostic. Yeah, he's an ex-Christian agnostic because of the genocide, I guess, the Old Testament. But I'd also like to add real quick that 90% of the genocides, we actually read that whenever it says to wipe these people out, the hyperbolic language. And I'll tell you this because I'll see if you read later in these passages, whenever it says to decimate, for example, I forget in Samuel, but it says to decimate a certain amount of people, and then the certain amount of people, you actually read come up. The heck, he ducked. Free. The heck? I'm so free.
I'm supporting this shit. This is a story, came from my life, and I'm just.
I feel like lack of evidence is the justification for a lack of belief.
Yeah, wait, exactly. So you take it to be the case, lack of evidence is justification for a belief.
No, it's not a belief.
Lack of belief.
Wait, let's just wait. Do you think atheism is a belief? Oh.
No, I think it's a lack of belief. You could but
What do you
the
think a belief
definition
is, ma'am? What do you think a belief is?
No, in the sense that we're talking about at the moment, and in the religious.
Yeah, what do you
sense,
think a
it
belief
lack
is?
of belief.
Accepting something
Objectively-
as truth.
Bringing up like your.
Oh, you want me to find a source? Yes.
Go ahead, yes, please. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, accident.
Wait, what's your point? What are we arguing about? I'm sorry, I was just focused.
Yeah, he just basically saying that Iblis was an angel at one point, which he just made up because Iblis
He
was
was
not
an
an
angel?
angel. He was a jinn. He was a jinn. I mean, I don't even know why we're not. And he can't even provide a textual reference. For
Oh,
this.
wait,
Like an
time
actual-
dealer is back. Time
Trying to
dealer is
silence
back.
me, but I won't let them.
That's
Time
such a
dealer
basic
is
point, though.
back.
Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. I was wrong. He was a jinn. He wasn't an angel. Yes.
Thank God, I appreciate that you accepted your mistake. Right? It happens.
Yeah, but okay. I'm okay. Okay.
All right,
Wait.
all
I
right.
have-
Can we get to like the actual like?
No, wait.
we
I
can
never
change it.
understand this question about
Yes.
Christianity.
Yeah.
Okay. The earliest book of the Bible is written in Greek, but Jesus spoke Aramaic.
You need to ask
Greek
that.
was
You
the
need to
Aramaic.
ask them that.
Aramaic
Ask them
Hebrew,
that.
bro? What are you talking about?
Yeah, Greek was the most popular language. That's the most general language. That's why it's written in Greek.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, in
There.
Jesus' time, they wrote
Jesus also,
Aramaic.
yeah,
They
Jesus
didn't-
also probably spoke in a little bit of Greek too because of how, because the language that was a general, like how we speak in English.
Yeah,
regardless
during
of
the
what
Roman
was-
Empire
was-
states. So.
Yeah, the most popular language was Latin/Greek because that's who predominantly controlled the times. Like how
Wasn't it written in Hebrew? Wasn't the Old
that's the
Testament
Old Testament.
written in
Old
Hebrew?
No, that's the Old Testament. The New Testament was written in Greek, most likely because of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire was Latin and Greek. So.
What about the claims that people say it was in Aramaic? Sorry, I don't really understand about the
Okay,
language.
let me help you out, Lizard. So the reason why the Old Testament is written in Hebrew is because it's for the Jews of the time. It's written during the time of
Yeah,
Jerusalem. It's
I
written
know
in
for
Jerusalem.
the
The New Testament, the reason why the New Testament is written in Greek is because, like, how, for example, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, Roblox dude, English might not be your first language, you might be from somewhere else.
No, English is my first language.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so, buddy.
Okay, well, some people...
Yes, hold on, please. Yeah, just so you know, it is. My first language is English. My second language is Arabic, just so you know.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, well, for some people that I know, they're I was in a discussion a little bit ago with a guy that was German, and he predominantly spoke German, but we were speaking in English because English is not the most popular language, but it is the most used language around the entire world because of first off the UK and how much they colonized, and then the US. It is the most popularized language, which is why yes, Mandarin is the most spoken by the most people, but it's not the one that's used the most. Like for example, you could say that there was an Asian language that was used more than the Greek language, but the Greek language was in the most popular place at the time, and Rome was the biggest empire, which is why it was written there because it was the most popular language. Like a German would go ahead and speak English because it's the most popular language for where we are, which is the Western society. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, so what were we talking about before? Kind of just got up here.
Yeah, well, why is in Greek? He's asking.
Why is it in Greek? Okay, so yeah, as I said, it was in Greek because that was the predominant language at the time.
Oh yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah. So, who here is atheist or Muslim?
Well, I'm Muslim.
Ooh, we can talk about that. I'll talk about that with you. Unless Kilo wants
Oh
to.
yeah, actually, do you support radical Islamity? Like
No,
of
I believe
Sharia law?
No, I don't.
You don't follow Sharia law, even though...
I have nothing to argue about.
Okay.
Okay, I handpick from them, but I don't support all of them. Like, I feel like some of the laws are like lies that are made up, to be honest.
Brother, you cannot say that.
Yeah, a lot of the Sharia law is, in fact, all of it is from Islam. It's from the Quran. It's not like some made ups. It's from the Quran and from your Jewish scholars.
Yeah, but I know, but I don't support like really radical
So
ones.
you don't
Those
support
are a
your
little
Quran?
bit.
Yeah, it's mostly different translations because it's how you interpret it. Because some people interpret it really
Well, no, because they
I
have
I need to look up the
Hadith.
rules of the Sharia.
Yeah, because they have Tasfiyah and they
It's
have
basically you have no.
You know, I think. Hold on. I think we should only debate before like 16 and above. Like.
We probably
well-
should.
Yeah, we probably yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm talking the same as you guys. I don't think there's as big of a difference.
Well, actually, here, Roblox dude, I'm gonna ask you. Do you know the Islamic dilemma?
Yes.
Okay, well.
The other day, a guy.
Okay, do you know how to refute it? Do you have like any arguments to bring against it, or no?
Actually, I don't know, to be honest, because yesterday I was on this and there was a guy questioning me about the Islamic dilemma, and I really couldn't figure it out. I'm just gonna look it up right now because I kind of forgot.
Actually, I'll just give you the premise. Wait, Killa, you want to do it? Because you said that you want to talk about it a lot.
Yo, double negation is making a crazy claim.
Yeah, y'all just wanna argue. Y'all just want to argue about the things we say, or actually like make a point and try to argue about it.
Well, yeah, Killa.
Because I have a few.
Okay, well,
yeah, can we make one consecutive point? How about we do an organized debate with atheists make a point and then theists make a point?
But I don't know who's.
I know what.
I'm a bit the rebuttaler.
Okay, yeah, just real quick.
Wait, so I wasn't even listening. I had the whole game muted. What are you guys talking about right now?
We have no idea.
So basically, I think atheists should make a point, then theists should refute it, and then we should go back and forth, and then after we switch points. And then we can...
I thought we were getting into. I thought we were getting into it. Okay. I didn't know we were debating philosophy. I thought we were debating theology.
Judaism versus Christianity. I mean.
Yeah, let's do that.
But I think most people just are atheists. So okay. I would be towards Judaism, honestly. I think Judaism is more provable.
That's not true. Much appreciated. I would say that's the opposite. But hey, we can discuss Judaism later if we want to do atheist versus theist. We can do that.
Sure.
We're gonna need to argue about a certain thing, though. We cannot argue about Islam and Christianity and Judaism at the same time.
Give your point on why God doesn't exist, atheists.
I can give contradictions, not why God doesn't exist.
You're not saying
right?
that God doesn't exist. You're saying that a certain religion's God doesn't exist.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's more of a question.
Sure, but that's all of us follow the same religion here.
Y'all hear me? I think okay. My mic isn't back. Basically, blasphemy, right? It's a sin that cannot be forgiven. Blasphemy of the Holy Spirit is a sin that cannot be forgiven. Which I mean, I find a little bit unfair to an all-loving God. If you do something, it cannot be forgiven, and you immediately go to hell, right?
Do you know what blasphemy
you're
of the Holy
doomed to go to hell and
is?
suffer.
Do you know what that
Do you
is?
actually know what the? Do you know what the definition of blasphemy is?
Well, it's like looking down on the Holy Spirit.
No, bro.
No.
It's like.
Isn't it like making fun of God?
No, blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. No,
it's literally.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, what is
it?
Okay,
I could look up like the literal definition.
No,
if you
no,
want.
it's okay.
Wait, here, let Bernard speak. Let Bernard speak.
I was gonna say, let Killa cook. Let Killa cook this one. I want Killa have some fun.
Okay, sure.
It's saying offensive things about God.
Honestly, I've never heard whatever. I don't know if Bernard. I don't know if our definitions are going to differ. I can tell you my definition for it. So it's basically the idea that you're just entirely rejecting the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, and what that means
just rejecting
is,
Jesus.
What rejecting the Holy Spirit means is that you'll hear about Jesus, you'll hear about God, you'll hear about Christianity, and then you choose to reject it willingly. And even after giving multiple chances, like for example, I like to use the Pharaoh. Even after he was given multiple chances.
Is there a certain amount of chances? Like, is
there's no certain
number?
amount. It's until death, until you die, and you are still an atheist. Like for example, I'd also like to use famous atheist scholar Richard Dawkins, who recently passed, Christopher Hitchens, who recently passed, and he had.
Bros would have a heart attack.
Yeah, he'd been atheist all of his life, and he's joked about God, he's made fun of God, he's debated Christians, and he willingly chooses to accept the idea that there's no God until he died. That would be blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, because he's been given chances, he's debated, he's argued, and he's learned about it, and he was a biblical scholar, and he still willingly chooses to reject Christianity.
They're saying blasphemy is not a simple sin like murder or stealing. It's something something that happens along your life until the end of it.
Blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, that one specifically, yes, because of
So I don't find that believable. It doesn't seem like a sin. It seems like more of just like if you believe or not, which of course if you don't believe, you go to hell.
No, that's not the case, bro.
How is unbelief?
Yeah, because no, it is written that if you don't believe, you go to hell. Is that right?
Yeah, well, yes, it is true. If you choose
so
to reject Christ,
blasphemy being a sin just kind of repeats that, don't you think?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Because
that
I think
is-
a more
yeah, well,
literal
that is the
definition
sin.
would be like
Blasphemy-
speaking badly about God. A more
Yes.
literal definition. A lot of people
no,
would describe that
well,
as
it's
that.
different. It's blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. The reason why is blasphemy of the Holy Spirit is literally the sin of unbelief. It is the sin of not choosing to believe because of what the Holy Spirit's job is. Whenever we read in John 13-16, we read that the Holy Spirit is an advocate that will come and help the world and convict us of wrongly judging Christ, and he will also be a helper for the disciples, being able to preach the word. He goes and he will help us preach, and people like, for example, I don't want to say you, but let's say, like right now I'm talking to you, and you still choose to willingly reject Christ until your death, well then that is blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, aka the sin of unbelief until your death. What you drinking there?
I
Sorry,
get
guys.
that. So I think, like, based on our definitions, we should argue about something
Milk?
else. Because I
Well,
want to argue more about blasphemy. No, really. I want to argue more about blasphemy as in a single thing you do that, right? That makes you go to hell and you cannot repent for it.
Well, that is
but
that
if you're
single
just
thing.
stating
Yeah,
it's your
lizard,
whole
lizard.
life,
So if I'd
so
just
it's-
like to give you a quick little thing that you can, so just make it easier to understand. Somebody who, like, if you've wondered if you've ever committed this sin, you ask yourself, do you care? If you care about the issue, that means you haven't. If
Yeah,
you have
no,
any
I
will left,
understand
if you have any
blasphemy.
will left, basically, if you have any will left to ask for forgiveness, then you have not committed that. You have not committed that sin.
Yeah, I'd
People
also
who
like to-
do commit the sin don't care that they commit the sin.
That is true. I'd also like to add on, but before I let you talk, I apologize. I'd also like to add on real quick is that
So,
there is
well,
different
let me
types
get it
of,
right.
hold on. There is different types of blasphemy. There is the blasphemy of the Son and
Mhm.
the Father, which is to, as you said, make fun and reject God, the Father, and the Son, and make point jokes.
Is that
and make
also
fun of them.
unforgivable?
No, it is not. It's not unforgivable, as Christ says. Every single sin can be forgiven, except for the sin of blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, because blasphemy of the Holy Spirit is the choice to willingly reject Christ until your death. So you can
Yeah,
talk. You can
so-
talk and give your point.
Yeah. So what Kila said is basically, you will not be forgiven for blasphemy because you don't want to be forgiven for blasphemy if you already committed it.
Exactly.
Does that make sense? You have to be in the state of not wanting forgiveness. So basically, you won't get forgiveness because you won't ask for it. Because if you committed blasphemy, you won't be in the state to want for asking
Exactly.
forgiveness.
Well said. Well said.
Okay. I mean, that's all. I don't have anything more to say
Okay.
about it.
Any other
All right,
atheists?
I'll take over.
Sure.
I have
No,
a question
no.
to the atheist. I have a
Yeah,
general
go,
question.
Go. Say it.
Doesn't everything in the world have a creator?
Okay, no, this is going.
No, seriously.
I
Doesn't
don't think it
everything in
has.
the
Cook
world
up,
have
bro.
a
Cook up. Let him cook.
No, I'm saying in the world by itself. Doesn't everything that is born have a creator?
No.
Well, I think
Yes.
energy cannot.
As
First of
proposed
all,
by Alvin
energy.
Plantiega, bro. Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about the universe. I'm saying in the world we live in. Doesn't everything
Yeah.
have a creator?
So let me get to
Yes,
like
bro.
the core of the point, right?
No.
You want to say that everything needs a creator and the creator is God.
No.
Is that right? That's the point you want to get.
No.
Okay,
I'm
so let
I'm
me
asking you
explain.
actually. Everything in the world doesn't it have a creator?
In the world, as in all of the observable universe.
Yes,
No, it
trees
doesn't.
have
Like Earth.
trees come from other trees. Chickens come from mom
I'm
chickens.
Chia,
Dogs
put
come
pussy
from
in.
dogs.
I caught two
So
times
everything
back
has
to
a
back.
I mean,
creator.
on
yes?
Earth specifically, yes, on Earth.
So that means that somebody had to create the atoms, somebody had to create the energy, somebody has to create the Big Bang.
no.
So that means that the creator of
bro.
those has to be God.
Bro, can I
This
ask you
is-
Well,
something?
first
This
of
is
all,
a-
your
Wait.
argument is contradicting itself because if you're saying everything needs a creator, God also needs a creator.
No,
right?
lizard. So
That's
no,
cause.
no.
He's the
No,
eternal
because
thing.
God
Okay,
is
listen.
eternal.
He's talking
I'm
about
not gonna lie,
He's
I-
talking
I
about
will-
the first way argument. Y'all familiar
I will
with
give
that?
Roblox.
So
dude,
if that applies
'cause-
for God, if
Hold on real
God can
quick.
be, if God
So-
doesn't need a creator, why would the universe apply for that?
Because the universe
energy
is
cannot be
because the
created.
universe is made up of
Yeah,
space and
so-
time. Kill it, you can cook.
So I know Roblox dude is a little he's a low tier, but he bring up a high tier argument. That's actually I wanted to applaud you for that really quick. But like what he's basically talking about is he didn't really bring up the premises right. But what he was saying is actually correct. So the premises of the argument is that everything that begins to exist has a cause. The universe has a cause, therefore the universe began to exist.
What?
God doesn't meet that
That's not it.
criteria. That's
Well, you
what
said it wrong,
that's
by
what
the
the
way.
premises are.
You said it wrong, but okay.
Okay, how did I say it?
Nah, he's referring to the first way
Your
argument.
P2,
with,
your
infinite
P2 was
regression.
the universe has a cause, and then the conclusion was the universe has a beginning. That's not, you reversed it.
No, I didn't.
You literally, your P2 was literally
No,
the
it's
universe
has
has
a
a.
beginning. What is the cause of the beginning? Therefore, it must be God. It's not the other way
'Cause
around.
it doesn't
Alright,
matter. we
whatever.
get
Can I debate Burner now? Can I debate Burner?
I don't think you were listening, did I? I said
Hold
it
on,
right.
Mr. Gojo. We're waiting. We're waiting for these guys. So yeah, I mean, what he said was right. I'm not gonna like say he just didn't word it right. He's saying that he said everything that is inside of the universe, inside of space and time, has a cause, and the cause of the universe has to be something that is eternally generated, and is the uncaused cause, because it has to be able to create the space and time.
Yeah, also common logic and common physics states that everything has a cause.
That's
So-
right. That's Newton's.
So
like,
atoms
law.
can't come from no cause, which caused the Big Bang. So it has no cause.
When
So
you're saying
it basically
everything,
doesn't work.
when you're saying everything, you God is included, right? Like
No, God is not included.
He's talking about everything inside of the universe.
Bro, are y'all familiar with the first way argument?
Yes,
Yo,
Thomas
yo,
Aquinas.
got it.
My goat. Okay, can y'all refute that? Or anyone refute that?
I think
Yeah,
she gave the
it's
premises for the
shaky.
atheists. I don't know if some of them know.
I mean,
Alright, can I take over now? Can I take over?
I mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
first of all, I mean, I can kind of argue about that. I'm not sure if it would be a good argument. First of all, I don't know what was before, right? No one knows. Even the Big Bang, it's just a theory, right? No one, a game theory. Anyway, it's a theory, right? No one really knows.
Funny.
Okay. But second of all, I think the universe is self-contained. Basically, the universe in itself there was nothing before the universe. Does that make sense?
Brother, stop. There's no need for any further.
Oh,
back.
you
nothing
believe
okay,
you
hold on, real
old,
quick.
so
I mean,
No
I
need
don't
to-
know what happened before. I can't really prove anything, but that doesn't mean that God was before.
Really quickly, so what caused the universe? How did it pop in by itself?
First of all, no one can know. I don't know. But second of all, the fact that we don't know what was before the universe doesn't lead to the conclusion that there was a God, and specifically your
It
God.
does if you use the argument
Right.
correctly, because
really
of what we're
does,
trying to
bruh.
say. If you use the kalam right, if you use
Wait,
the
I have a
fine-tuning right.
question.
Yes.
Not to the atheist, just in general. Like, how do you believe that mistakenly from a Big Bang, our body was made perfectly to the way that we can survive? Like, we have the
First of all, it
chromosomes,
wasn't.
cells, everything.
We evolved to survive. Okay.
How do we evolve?
Natural
Huh?
selection.
Yeah.
How
natural
did we
selection.
evolve?
Natural
Do you want to
selection.
argue the theory, Darwin's theory? Because we
No,
could do
I'm
that.
just saying. No. Before we go there,
I
I'm
would
just
like to
saying. How
argue
do we
it.
evolve? How do you
Natural
become?
selection and
How do you
genetic
become
Natural
an animal?
selection.
How do you become an animal that has completely different
genetic
cells and
mutation.
stuff from us, and then
Completely
you become a
different.
human?
We came from apes, okay, but we weren't exactly monkeys
That's
like
not
we see
even
them
true.
today.
Yeah, that's false, bro. We came from fish. Get it right.
You want to go to the very beginning, then yeah.
I'm an ancestor.
No, that's false. We
How
came from
far
microbes.
back
That's
do y'all
false.
want
Came
to
from
go?
God.
That's
yeah,
true.
made in
That's
the
true.
perfect image of-
Alright, keep going.
Anyway, do you know what natural selection is?
Alright. Can I?
Yeah, we should go to the next one. It's stupid to argue about
Alright, thank God.
evolution.
So, Burner,
What's up? Hey, bud.
you affirm that Christ was the supposed Messiah.
Yes, I affirm that Christ was the Messiah that was talked about in the Jewish scriptures.
So why did he fail to liberate us from the Romans? Go ahead, please.
Well, I've actually heard this argument before from a Muslim. Why didn't he do all the prophecies that are inside of the Jewish scriptures? Well, as I would answer, remember, he has a first coming, he has a second coming. In a second coming, we have no idea what he's going to do. But what I know for sure that he came at first to fulfill the law, and he did answer some of the prophecies. He answered more prophecies than any type of prophet in Jewish scripture. And I forgot the exact number. I can maybe try and find it while you're talking, or as if you let me to. But there was a number of how many prophecies that he actually fulfilled, and the likelihood of somebody just doing that in a random life, or even doing half of them. And it was almost nearly next to impossible unless he was a prophet prophesized or was God as he claimed to be.
Right.
And as the reason why he quote unquote failed to liberate us, he actually tells us in the New Testament what's going to happen to us, and then we didn't listen to him. And then he says he's going to have a second coming where he's going to finish the prophecies and he's going to fulfill the law, and then he's going to have the end times and judge us.
All right, but you would obviously, if you look at the old, what you would call the Old Testament, right? it says that when the Messiah comes, there would be world peace, right?
Well, that's what
And
I'm
now,
saying, the
obviously,
new second coming.
you're gonna appeal to a second coming, right? Okay,
Mhm.
but obviously, appealing to a second coming, I could literally say, "I'm the Messiah," and after I die, I'm gonna come back and just fulfill everything I have not yet fulfilled. Like
Well,
appealing
well,
to a
well,
second
well,
coming
well, hold on,
is
hold on.
slightly
I'm sorry.
unbelievable.
Say a
Bible.
coming.
Are
Hold-
y'all arguing Christianity against
Hold-
Judaism or
Hold on.
Yeah, we
Muslim?
are.
Hold on.
Yeah, we
Can I
are.
answer his point really quickly? Yeah.
I'll join Judaism, I
Sure,
guess.
sure. Answer his
I'll
point.
join.
Answer his point. Let Brenner finish.
Okay, so what I was gonna say was, well, there's a difference between you and Christ. Christ did actually do. He actually did fulfill most prophecies. He did miracles, and he actually even said, "Do not listen to someone that just claims it or just does miracles, but by how much they adhere to the law and how much they adhere to the old scriptures." He already fulfilled laws, and he didn't just claim that he's going to come back and finish the rest, but he also claimed to be God, and people saw him resurrect. And let me tell you this: if you saw somebody claim to be God, die, resurrect, and then ascend to heaven, would you not believe that he's probably going to come back and finish the rest?
Yeah, but these accounts of him obviously performing miracles and whatnot, even in Deuteronomy, right? Even in
I'm sorry.
Deuteronomy, it says that even false prophets can perform miracles. Like God allows them to perform miracles because He's trying to test whether you love Him or not, right?
Yeah, well, that's
It's
what
literally in
Jesus.
Deuteronomy 13, I believe.
Yeah, that's what it says. Well, that's what Jesus says really quickly. That's why he says not to listen to his, not to not listen to his miracles, but do not just judge somebody based off their miracles, but how they adhere to the scriptures, and that's what Jesus does. That's what he does, and that's what he claims to do. Adhere to the scriptures.
That's
And they
fine.
claim to be God in a
But
sense.
these
This dude
accounts,
said Rebecca. Oh
these
my
accounts,
days.
even the accounts of him resurrecting and whatnot, right? These are in your like you have no extra biblical sources for this supposed resurrection.
Well, as we said before, I've had to say this with atheists. We have. Well, okay. Well, hold on. What do you mean by no other biblical account of the resurrection?
Extra biblical accounts, so something which is not within the New Testament, which affirms that a man rose from the dead on the third day.
Okay, sure. So, I like to answer this first by saying this is a second source fallacy, aka the argument from silence, because, and I would also like to add that there are technically, yes, we do have letters and people like Josephus that have mentioned at least the death of Jesus by Josephus.
Tacitus, bro.
Paul, who was you should know, a high-ranking man inside of the Jewish Sanhedrin, ended up converting to Christianity and telling us about the multiple eyewitnesses in letters that are historical documents, not just called canonized scripture, but also historical documents. For example, the ones in 1 Corinthians that tell us about the 500 witnesses of Christ, and he's writing this to a church in Corinth to tell them, hey, if not even one person here, it claims to be, or not even claim, if there's not one person that says that he's seen the resurrection, not one of the eyewitnesses that I tell you, don't believe. And it would make sense because these people are being heavily persecuted by the Jewish Sanhedrin and by the Romans. They're being heavily persecuted, they're being taxed, they're being put to death. So they would be able to freely escape this type of persecution by renouncing Christ if none of these people actually seem to exist. So we do have documents from people, and the reason why we have documents and why they're not technically secular is because, tell me this, if you saw somebody resurrect and you mentioned you saw the eyewitnesses and then you had a vision of the same person that people said to be resurrected inside of your face, and you were a high-ranking member of the Jewish Sanhedrin, why would you then stay secular?
Okay. I mean, I have a few issues with that. So, for example, Paul, you claim that he went to the high priest and he asked for permission to go to Damascus. On his road to Damascus, he saw the risen Christ.
Well,
okay,
he saw
so number one, right?
He saw vision.
Yeah,
yes.
he had the vision. Okay,
Yes.
he had the vision. Okay, on the road to Damascus, right?
Yes.
Okay, so one of my contentions is why would number one, I believe the high priest was actually a Sadducee, not even a Pharisee, right? And then also, why would Paul, who was a Pharisee, why would he ask permission to go to Syria when, like, the high priest has no jurisdiction over another country? So why ask the high priest for permission? Like, the whole story is a bit, it doesn't make much sense, I would say.
It doesn't make much sense. Well, he doesn't need jurisdiction to enter this country, but that's actually an interesting one because I've never really heard somebody say this. So, I guess what I would say to that is, I don't really quite know because I've never really heard this type of objection about why would he ask for permission to leave. But I would say that that there would have to be at least kind of an affirmation that he was this high priest. Ow, my ear. But like there has to be this reason that he was a high priest, or at least a high-ranking member of Pharisee, because if he wasn't, then I feel like it would have been written by the Sanhedrin, hey, this guy's lying. He's not. He was never one of these people. Also, I think maybe it was out of respect to leave. But I don't know. If you can give me the exact verse, maybe I can look into it and I can give you an answer later on that one. But I would like to say it doesn't really change the fact that he was a... Okay, I was just trying to see what player VR was saying in chat, but I'm just going to say really quickly, I don't think that really objects to what anything that Paul really said. And that still didn't really answer my question that I asked you about if the reason why there might not be any secular sources, because if you saw this and heard it from the eyewitnesses, why would you stay a non-believer if you hear this and see eyewitnesses and see multiples, hundreds of eyewitnesses? Okay, can you stop? That's hurting my ears. Why would you stay... Hold on, I'm looking at... Okay, Roblox said I'm about to fry you if you keep talking like that. So, why would somebody who sees this happen, why would they choose to stay an atheist? Why would they not become atheist?
I think naturalists had a point to make, so naturalists make a point with it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't have a point to make. I was just gonna say that we can use Bayesian reasoning for this, like where we even if you have like eyewitnesses or whatever, you don't have a good reason to believe that Jesus resurrected. Just given the fact that resurrection has a very low probability, given our general understanding of medicine and biology.
Bro, why are you bringing probability into that of the Lord?
Well,
I don't think that's.
Are you bad?
Well, hold on. I'd like to answer really quickly. I feel like if it was just like a few, yeah, sure. But if there's over 500 and someone tells you these 500 people claim to see Christ, it doesn't be the same story, but say that they saw a resurrected Christ after the time of his death, I feel like that would kind of make at least a little bit of sense of it being a high probable idea that, hey, this guy did resurrect. And if you're hearing from someone who used to be a Pharisee and ended up coming to Christ, I think that also makes sense. And if Paul was talking about
I guess I have a question.
Sure, what's up?
Okay, so you're stating that if 500 people were to come to me and tell me that they saw this happen, that's what you're saying, right? You're not saying that one person telling me that 500 people saw this, right?
Well, this is what he's saying.
Just to make sure.
In the exact context, what he's saying is that whenever he's writing this letter, he's telling them there's 500 people. There was 500 people at this certain spot. There was actually more, but in that just certain spot, there was only 500 people. Probably more, but he said about 500 people. And he tells them, go. If there's not even one, renounce Christ and do not follow. That's what he's telling. That's what he's telling them. Because they would have no reason to keep following because of the persecution and the taxings and the death that they're being put to because of their followings of Christ.
Well, I mean, I'd still have like no reason to believe it, even if it is the case. For this fact, okay, I guess I can give an example. You know the submarine that had like billionaires in them and like billionaires in it, and they died. They were trying to go to that Titanic. Okay. Okay, let's say so the probability of someone surviving that is like very unlikely. Just the fact we understand how bodies work under pressure at those depths and stuff like that. Okay, probably super low.
Yeah.
But let's say the next day there's the newspapers and you see in like the news that like there's these videos of the guy living and he's alive, and you have like doctors saying, hey, this guy's really alive and it's not fake or whatever.
I would say that it's a lot...
The probability still wasn't raised.
Well, I would say that it's a lot easier to spread information and misinformation nowadays, and there's even, for example, like a new definition of a hoax because in the newspaper, I feel like it's a lot easier to spread misinformation nowadays about certain things. Like, for example...
Wait, but let's say they're real doctors though, right?
Yeah, you can still spread misinformation easier nowadays.
Easier than back then? Than a testimony on a written paper?
More
likely to be less, like it's less likely to be fabricated than
testimony of 500 Jews who were Orthodox Jews before seeing this person be resurrected. I feel like it would be pretty. I think it's a lot different than a few doctors and some videos.
Well, what about 500 doctors?
500 doctors? Okay, well, how do they know that these people came back?
Well, they're not gonna know. They're just gonna say, "Hey, I saw it happen, and I looked at the person."
Okay, they saw it happen. But why?
Yeah, they saw the person. They saw individual alive.
Okay, but why?
They saw the individual living.
Okay, but why did they say that?
What do you mean? What did they say that? That's not
you,
important to the conversation.
I feel like it is. I feel like this is a very. I already feel like it's a very unrealistic hypothetical. But I still want to ask, what? Well, they have to have a reason as to why they're gonna say if they've never seen it or if they claim to have seen it.
Maybe they believe it's true. I don't know. That doesn't really matter for the hypothetical.
It does.
If you're assessing its truth.
Well, how could they have seen him? Because did these people really die or did they really resurrect? How could they have seen him? Did they really resurrect inside of this hypothetical or no?
Wait, we're not saying he resurrected. We're saying that he survived this situation.
So if they didn't resurrect here, then if they didn't resurrect, then what did these people see? Did they say hallucination? Did they see like a hysteria?
No, they're saying that he survived the situation. He didn't revive. He didn't like resurrect. He survived the situation.
Okay, so
he survived the collapse. Oh my God, is this really hard to track?
I'm asking you. Okay, it's a yes or no question. So they're saying that they survived. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're claiming that he's alive.
I literally said that's what I stated.
500 different doctors are claiming that he's alive and that he survived this.
Because they saw him, and he was in the event, right?
Because they
saw him alive.
And they saw him alive. And you're trying to say that 500 different doctors, and they're okay. It's not even that hard to follow. I just feel like this isn't a very good hypothetical. I think it's very unrealistic for 500 different.
What? Yeah, that's the point. That's the point of a hypothetical.
Well, no, because
all I'm stating is that the probability isn't going to raise of that individual surviving something like that, given that we have like low priors on it, right? The probability of someone surviving that is like very low. So even if we have 500 doctors, whatever, stating that this person is living, right, it would just not be enough to make you believe that it's true. It's not. There's no justification for it in that sense. The probability is still going to be low, meaning that you should still take it to be unlikely.
Well, it's yes.
The same thing would apply to the.
What Paul is trying to say. What Paul is trying to say, Maya, I would not want you here. This is not a very good argument for you, Maya. What Paul is trying to say is that hey, there is people that have claimed to see this, and you can use these people to try and help you understand. And I think the difference from doctors and Orthodox Jews is that Jews would have no reason to try and have these people to try and believe in Christ because they would rather have Christ be a liar, heretic who deserves to die.
That's fine.
Maya, what are you talking about?
Oh, wait, that's fine. All I'm saying is that the probability is not going to raise enough for me to believe that Jesus resurrected. Even if we have the testimonies, even if the testimonies are true.
Also, my fault.
Using Bayesian reasoning.
What do you want to say, Purple Girl?
Also, there's the issue with like coming back from the dead or whatever, quote unquote, the whole issue of food and water. Because
well, if he's God, why would he need the issue of food and water? And they do.
Wait,
they do right. They
can you bring? Oh my God!
They do right. They ate with him.
He wasn't entirely.
Yes, he
God-like.
Was entirely God. He was 100% God and 100% human. And they do right. Yes, and they do right. He entirely ate.
He was 100% both. That equals to 200%.
Burner, you're meant to say truly. You're meant to say truly.
Literal facts and there's literal arguments.
I'll probably use the numerical identity.
I'm not done.
You guys are we're not tradition.
Order in my court.
This is doctrine.
There's also.
Why are we here to prove the Trinity?
We're not.
There's also the whole issue of if he was 100% human and 100% God-like, whatever, he was still technically 100% human by your law, by your meaning or reasoning there. Therefore, he'd still need to eat food and drink water.
As I said, they
eating versus
that he ate with them after his resurrection. They write that he ate with them. That he ate with the disciples.
Well, yeah, but not while he was in there.
In what? The tomb? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the whole point. That's the whole point, that it's a miracle. Yeah. Okay, so let's ignore the fact that he has giant holes in him and then he resurrects. Now let's talk about the fact that he needed to eat. That's a miracle. That's the whole point of the miracle, that he resurrected.
That's within itself that he was bleeding. That's
the whole point.
I didn't think I'd even have to blame that.
It's a miraculous situation that he was resurrected. Do you think that he wouldn't be able to survive with holes in his hands and in his ribs?
No,
but
he
guess
wouldn't
what he
have.
did? Yeah, but guess what he did? Because it's a miracle. So why are you worried about him eating if he just survived a miracle?
Wait, can I ask you again?
That just makes no sense.
Burner.
What's up? Because I'm about to go.
Burner, but still, the probability You still would you agree then though, right? Given that the fact that it's like a very low probability of someone resurrecting, given our like shared knowledge of like biology and medicine, you would agree that we have good reasons, even if the testimonies are true, right?
Actually,
in the
let's
sense
add
that
me.
like
I'm gonna respond to you later. I gotta go eat. Okay, I'm gonna respond to you like
Bet.
5
All
times.
right.
I don't gotta go eat, but I gotta go research what he's talking about. Low probability because okay. So let me just think about this. He's saying look. They probably did live based off of a miraculous scenario. If 500 people lived, that's I'm gonna watch another like what he says.